Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Is It Worth It, where I go around the artistic world looking for supplies and materials to help you become a more productive artist and to maybe even save you a couple bucks by reviewing these, and that way you can go, I don't really like it, or I saw the demo happen, I'm not really feeling that. So this way we all benefit and we all can grow, and I hope that it is a benefit to you for me to do these reviews. Now, last week we did the Twinttone Dual-tip water-based markers. They were exactly what I was looking for as far as the bullet and the micron pen aspect of the marker. The only thing is that it was a water-based marker and it's not exactly what I'm looking for. But this week I found Artist's Loft version of it. So this is something from Michaels. It's the Michaels brand. And it's an 8-piece and it is a dual tip marker, but it says it is a permanent marker. So I'm assuming this is something more like a Sharpie. And so I'm really interested to see how these guys do, because they're going to be different than the water-based and not necessarily an alcohol-based marker, but they should allow me to do some type of blending. So I'm really interested in seeing what these guys have to offer. All right, come on, let's go check it out. Alright, so as you can see, these Artist's Loft pens are not packaged the best. You know, it's not resealable. It's definitely packaged so that the price can stay down. So just know that in advance. You gotta have some place to put it. You're not putting it back in the case. Alright, so these are definitely a base set. You know, it's one of the downfalls right now is that there's only 8. So you have to get, what you really want from the get, because there is only 8 of them. So, you got to go from there. The feel, it's a little plasticky, right? It feels a little bit more sturdy than the Tombow ones, but it is definitely a little plastic. All right, so there's that. Right? Okay, so this one is definitely a micron nib. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm gonna put it over here. Alright, that is definitely a micron nib, probably about a 0.5. That is Sharpie based, right? So there is that. Yeah, so let's jump into it. There we go. Alright, so they are thicker, so they're thicker than the Tombows, I can tell you that right away. Right, so it actually feels a little bit more like a marker than it does a pen. So there's that to know about. Okay. The colors are, that's pretty much the same color. Right. One thing that I'm noticing right now is that as soon as you make a mark, though, it does leave a dot. Right. So it instantly leaves a dot. So you got to be aware of that. Like, it instantly leaves a dot. So that in and of itself is never a good thing if you're trying to make straight lines, and then you have to worry about the ink flowing out faster as soon as you hit the paper. So the ink does come out really, really quick, and it pools at the very beginning. Okay, it even does it with the micron pen, right? So it does pool, so the ink comes out pretty quickly. This doesn't flow as well as the Tombows does. Like some of the ink, like you can start seeing it, right? If you're going really, really fast, you can see right here how it was really thick and then it got really thin, right? So the ink was leaving, like there wasn't enough ink flowing to it, so that's a bit of an issue. But you can go over it, okay? So you can actually go over your ink, right? So you can go over it and it doesn't pull up the paper. So that in and of itself is a real benefit. right? So there is that. And this definitely feels like a Sharpie, right? This is definitely more of a Sharpie based permanent. It's like, oh, this is, as it says, it's a permanent marker. It says that it can write on pretty much anything, and after it's flowing out and stuff like that, I would agree, you know, because this is definitely more of a permanent marker. And so, let's see. We get this little wooden ball that I have here. All right, let's see if we can do something on that. All right, hold on. Let's see if we can get a different color. Let's see what happens there. I mean, it's definitely a permanent marker, so I mean, there's a benefit there, you know. If you're looking for different color kind of Sharpie, Artist Loft has got you covered. Oh, wait, let's try this light blue. It's on other material, you know, it doesn't exactly uphold the colors as good, but it does give you different colors, right? So there you go. It is it's like a Sharpie. Okay, so it is like a Sharpie. So it's got nice. It does have nice color distribution. The colors are not exact, right? It seems as though everything's a tad bit darker. The actual micron pen aspect is not as good. It reminds me of old school Tria markers, right, where you'd actually have to go really, really slow for the ink to flow through the nib. So as long as you're willing to go slowly, right, like you're not going to be doing any, you know, long swooping lines, because it, like, when you do that, the pen just cannot keep up. But it does do well with more swoopy lines. So it is pretty well looking at stuff like that, right? But if you're doing straight lines, the ink can't keep up if you're doing really fast. So if you were to break out the ruler and you're gonna start marking across it, it's not gonna work, right? It's not. But you know, the thing is that you could definitely keep going over a space. Does not pull up the paper. You know, it covers nicely like that, but the whole purpose is to use that extra pen, that extra nib, and that's where these markers are actually falling apart. So it's not giving me exactly what I'm looking for. Oh, and so my orange, this one, is actually more red. Well, the red's starting to come out, but you can tell that this red has a lot of orange in it. So it's almost like a blood red. See, and this pen, like this one, doesn't even work. See, and look at that. Right, so this one doesn't even work. So that's sad. So you even get some that are dead on arrival. But as far as the Sharpie base part, right, like the bullet part, works great. Ink flows, and then you can just constantly go over it. You can constantly go over it until you actually fill the space if you wanted to. So that's really good. So the Sharpie part of these pens work really nice. Can we use this green? I think we did. But see, the layering on this is actually really good. So if they had a breadth of colors, right? So I can, if they had more colors, this could actually be really cool because you can actually layer these, right? You can actually layer them right on top. Now granted, I don't know how much you're not gonna really blend these out, but you can actually, you can actually do some blending. Right? So, I mean, that's kind of a benefit. You have some Sharpie markers that you can actually blend out. Right? And as long as you don't overlap them, you can actually try and blend them out yourself, right? So if we go light here and pull it out. So I mean, you can actually get a pretty decent blend going on with these, with the bullets, right? With the bullet, but not the pen. The little pen part itself does not work. I mean, it's just not working as far as trying to make it so that you can use it what it's intended for, which is, you have two ends that you can use and make little lines and then big lines and stuff like that. This isn't upholding its end because the little tip, it kind of frays and breaks down, and the minute you start making straight lines and you're just going straight across, the ink can't keep up with it, and so it kind of defeats the purpose. It's just like, oh, well, that doesn't really help. But, they do have a black, which is great. But I mean, yeah, see, as soon as I make that straight line, you can tell that the ink just can't keep up with it. So it works when you're doing curly stuff, when you're kind of doing this in some places, but the ink still kind of falls short sometimes. But man, as soon as you make a straight line, it's over. Right? Like it just does not hold up. And so I guess let's use this instead. Let's just do something real quick. No need to break out into the thing real quick. We'll just draw an eyeball or something. So I mean, you cannot deny the bullet. Like the bullet tip itself works just fine. Right? And these are super, I mean, I'd have to say, I think they were like, I don't know, $8 maybe? And then, you get it at Michael's and you get it on sale and stuff like that. So they're definitely not bad for the price. Right? And then you can come in and add, so you can have some nice line weight going on like almost instantly, right? So you can use that. But if you're trying to do the straight line, like you're gonna have to be slow, right? So you cannot do really quick lines in order to make it nice and straight. But if you're willing to slow down, then you can actually have some really nice lines. You can come in and you can make it really cool as far as the thin lines and whatnot. You can come back in here with, with this Sharpie. So I'm just going to go over it and see how well it does with its own ink. Alright, so it's not... Luckily, one of the problems I've ran into with a couple things is that when you go over a marker with itself, with another marker, it starts pulling stuff up. And it seems like it's doing it here too. It's also making things very wavy. So, you know, it's not meant to be oversaturated. It is a Sharpie, right? So it's gonna make everything nice and it bleeds, right? So that's the test, right? So it's pulling up some of the black and whatnot. But let's try and stay inside the lines. I think that that's how this would really work, right? If you stay inside the lines that you've drawn, you can definitely use this and it not be an issue. And like I said, and since it is more of a permanent marker Sharpie style, you can actually go over it again and again and again, let it dry, and see it gets a nice flat, you can get a nice flat even coat on it, right? So that's not horrible. So as long as you stay inside the lines, you should be fine. And then you can actually come in, oh yeah, that's right, that one's dead. Oh no. Orange, see, because this red is more orange. Should have started with that. Forgot. So we're going to use a different color so that you guys can see it. I'm just going to use this purple instead. Wow. Maybe I shouldn't use that purple. Ah! It's all super dark. So some of the colors are super dark. Even this light blue. Okay, so layering is probably not the ideal because it just makes everything super dark. Yeah. Yeah, so I used 3 different colors. Alright, I used 3 different colors on here, and each one of them just made it really, really dark. So if you're doing flat colors like this, right, as long as it's not really supposed to layer over anything, you're fine. Right, so these aren't bad. They're not bad. Some of the pens keep dying, the thinner parts, but yeah, there you go. It is what it is. They work on, you know, they work on other things, so you actually have the ability to use these on different type of material. So that's always something to think about. But for what it was intended, which is the dual tip and brush, I think that this is where it falls apart. Is the micron pen. Alright, so we just got done playing around with the Artist Loft permanent dual tip markers, and you know, I don't know, I don't think I'd pick these up again because Sharpie exists, right? Now they're not together, and Sharpie is starting to put the dual tips together too. You know, so that I know that they already have the black one, and I'm pretty sure they have some other colors out there that are dual tip. And you know what? Sharpies are king when it comes to stuff like this. And the bigger issue is that the thin tip did not work. I mean, it worked, but it would always die out. And I just got these, so you know, if the ink flow can't keep up with me, that's a problem. And I was just making straight lines. So if I was to use these and go, all right, well, let me do a quick little, you know, Sharpie sketch as a thank you, you know, and I go. And then I try and sign it, and then the ink doesn't flow with it. That just, you know, that's just bad because it's not going to work. And that coupled with it feels a little plasticky. You know, these in my mind, not necessarily worth it because there are better products out there for the price, and it's just, you know. But if you're willing to try them out, you know, go for it. There's a limited number. Michaels has them on sale. You know, you get them 50% off and stuff like that. It does write on other things, so it does serve a purpose. If you're going to use them slowly, right, and you want to just kind of write, these will be all right. They can layer really nicely. They do layer on top of each other, except for when you're trying to put color on top. You know, like, so when I did orange and red, it either makes it really, really dark or you can't see it. Right? And I put blue and purple on the red, trying to make it so that we can see some color bleed through. It does not bleed through, right? So it's just gonna make stuff darker. So there's an issue there, you know? But it is what it is. I don't think they're worth it. I wouldn't pick these up again, but maybe you find something different. Or if you've used these before and you disagree, please tell me why. Drop me a comment, let me know. You know, maybe I was doing something wrong Who knows, maybe I need to give it a second chance, buy another pack. Maybe it was just the pack, I don't know. But let me know, drop me a comment and I'll get back to you. So the hunt for dual-tipped alcohol-based markers is still in effect. We'll see if we can ever find them or if they're ever gonna make them. So, you know, definitely keep coming back and check if I actually find the alcohol-based dual-tip, you know, thin, the bullet and the micron marker. I hope that you got something out of this and some of this information was helpful to you. If it was, please give this video a like, and if you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel. I update this channel with Is It Worth It videos every Friday, and I'm really trying to make it so that you get something out of it so you don't waste your time or money with materials that are either gimmicky or just look cool, but then in the end you just wasted your money. So please help us out, give us a subscribe, and share this video with everyone who you think will be, you know, enlightened or will get some type of benefit from this information and help the channel grow. And I hope to see you at the next video. Thank you so much for the support, and I will see you at the next one. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you'd like to check out some of my other videos, click on the link on your right. Or, if you're interested in a more behind-the-scenes and personal look at what I do on a day-to-day basis, please click on the link that leads you to the vlog. Thank you very much, and we'll see you at the next video.